Hello friends, I welcome you all to this session. So in the last class we had started with our course for MCET and also KCET, right? So we started with chapter of limits and derivatives. So continuing from that, so we had done up till trigonometric limits, right? We had done till trigonometric limits. So now we will continue from where we left off. So in the previous class we discussed about what is a limit, what is LHL, what is RHL, when to use LHL and RHL, and also we discussed about various types or various indeterminate forms, okay, like infinity by infinity, 0 by 0, 1 to the power of infinity, all these things. And we also discussed about what? We also discussed about various methods to solve the limits, like direct substitution method, rationalization, factorization. Rationalization, I told you, whenever there is square root, directly use rationalization. And I also told when to use LHL and RHL, that is for piecewise functions, and also for greatest integer functions, for modulus functions, and also for where there is square root, right? Next we also learned about trigonometric limits. We also discussed about what is Sandwitch theorem. I also showed you an illustration, and based on trigonometric limits we solved some questions, right? Continuing from there, we will do the next question. So we are still doing trigonometric limits. So they are telling, let alpha and beta be the distinct roots of the equation. This should be ax square plus bx plus c. This is ax square, logo is called, bx plus c is equal to 0. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Then limit 1 minus cos ax square plus bx plus c divided by x minus alpha whole square is equal to how much they are asking. Okay. Now we know that while solving quadratic equation also you must have learned, we know that. So ax square, alpha and beta are the roots of, alpha and beta are roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This means what? This means I can write a into x minus alpha into x minus beta. Why? Because alpha and beta are the roots. Okay. Because a, why? Because a is the coefficient of x square. Fine. Now wherever there is ax square plus bx plus c, I can write, instead of that I can write a into x minus alpha into x minus beta whole square, x minus beta. Now what we have, I'll take only what is inside the limit, that is, this is x tending to alpha. Now I'll take 1 minus, instead of this I'll put this value. So this will become, instead of ax square plus bx plus c, this will become a times x minus alpha into x minus beta divided by x minus alpha whole square, right? Now what do we know? That 1 minus cos theta is equal to what? 2 sin square theta by 2. 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2. So this will become what? 2 sin square, this whatever theta, that is also square. So this will become, or let me write it as it is, x a into x minus alpha into x minus beta divided by 2. Now I have here in the denominator I have x minus alpha square. Okay. Now I want to make it limit sin x by x or sin square x by x square. So what I should do, inside what we have, a into x minus alpha x minus beta by 2. So next up I will write it here. So this I can write it as, see here, 2 times sin square, whatever is inside, that is a into x minus alpha into x minus beta by 2 divided by x minus alpha square. So what I should do, friends? So whatever is here, okay, I want here also, in the denominator also. So what I will do, I'll write as it is, but here it is square. So I'll write it as a square x minus alpha square into x minus beta square divided by 2 square into multiplied by this same thing, because the value is 1, this into this, the value should become 1. So that's why whatever I am dividing, same thing I will multiply here. So this will become what? This will become similar to previous questions but little modifications, that's all. So this will become a square into x minus alpha square into x minus beta square, a square x minus alpha square a x minus beta square divided by 2 square. Got it, friends? Now what will happen to this one? Limit of this x extends to alpha. will become what? This will become equal to, this whole thing will become equal to 1. This whole thing will become equal to 1. Okay, now what is left? X minus alpha square. Here x minus alpha square is there. I'll cancel it here. Now 2 into, what do you have? We have 2 by 2. Okay, here 2 is there, here 2 square is there. Here 2 is there, here 2 square is there. If I cancel, I'll be left with only 2. So I'll get it as, if I apply the limit, if the value of x, if I apply alpha, that is direct substitution, I'll get it as, the answer I'll get it is a square by 2. This is limit extending to alpha. See here friend, this is limit extending to alpha. So wherever x is there, I'll put alpha minus beta whole square, a square by 2. Okay, alpha minus beta whole square. So that is where in the option, it is in the option A square by 2 alpha minus beta whole square, friends. Got it? Okay, got it friends? So first most important thing is you should know ax square plus bx plus c, you can write it as a times x minus alpha x minus beta. So wherever this value is there, I'll write this value. Okay, next what I will do, 1 minus cos theta is what? 2 sin square theta by 2, that I applied. So now I did modifications, whatever is inside I divided and multiplied, that is square of that. So, I mean we have to square it because it is sin square. So I will get sin square x by x square, limit of sin square x by x square is equal to 1. So that property again I used, then whatever is left I modified. I applied direct substitution, x will become alpha. So we will get it as a square by 2 alpha minus beta whole square. A square by 2 alpha minus beta whole square after simplification. So fairly simple question, understood friends? So it appears difficult, but it's a simple question. Okay, this is how you solve this question. Based on this, we have a lot of PYQs also. Okay, now we will learn something called logarithmic and exponential, or exponential and logarithmic limits. This is also important. This is also important, friends, highly important. Okay, so limit a power x minus 1 by x is equal to log a to the base c, or it is also called log a, that is ln a. Okay, this natural limits. Got it, friends? Next, if I apply a particular case, instead of a, if I put e power x by x as x tends to 0, is because log a to the base c is what? It is 1. So this is particular case of this. Particular case. Next, limit 1 plus x by x. Limit 1 plus x by x is equal to 1 as x tends to 0. Highly important. This one is also important. We'll be using it in questions. Limit 1 plus x, limit log of 1 plus x by x is equal to 1. Now, limit x power n by minus a power n by x minus a is equal to, is also called first principle limit. While doing first principle of differentiation, we will use this. Okay, n times a to the power of n minus 1. From this only the concept of differentiation or derivative arrives. Next thing, limit, okay, this is the question. These are the logarithmic limits. This is one more thing. Actually, this should be e power, let me write in another color. This should be e power. This should be e power, this one, and here it should be gx, g of x. Let me write it again. So this is limit f of x to the power of g of x, okay, as x tends to a is equal to limit g of x into f of x minus 1, okay, e to the power of, okay, as x tends to a, e to the power of this. This is called tree monkey property. This is useful for solving limits of the type a power infinity. I mean not a power infinity, 1 power infinity. 1 power infinity. This is called what? This is called tree monkey property. Okay, suppose here there is a tree, here there is a monkey. Okay, this will become what? This will become e power, okay, this monkey will come down, limit of extending to a monkey will come down, and this tree will multiply with this tree minus 1. Here this tree is what? F of x, and this monkey is what? G of x. So this is called tree monkey property, and this is useful for evaluating 1 power infinity. This you will understand while solving questions now, right? Let us solve some questions based on this. Now this is a question which was asked in JEE Main 2023. Okay, JEE Main 2023 first session. So they were given limit 1 minus cos square theta by cos cube 4x sin cube 4x into divided by log 2x plus 1 to the power of I is equal to 1. Okay, look at this question, how to solve. You can have a look at this question, how to solve this question. Just think once. Okay, we'll solve it within a minute actually. Have a look at this question first. Here we will be using trigonometric limits also. We will be also using exponential and logarithmic property. Of course, here log is there, that means we should use logarithmic property. Exponential property we will see, we will use or not. JEE Main 2023. Okay. Now, I will not take this, whatever is inside I will take, because 1 minus cos square theta is what? 2 sin square theta by 2. So this will become what friend? This will become 2 sin square 3x by 2. 1 minus cos square theta is 2 sin square theta. Okay, 2 sin square theta by 2. This sin cube and cos cube. Sin cube by cos cube is what? Tan cube. Tan cube, I'll write it as tan cube 4x. Alright, tan cube 4x. Next, I'll write this as log of, instead of writing 2x plus 5, I'll write it as 1 plus 2x because it is one and the same. 1 plus 2x to the base c whole to the power of 5. Whole to the power of 5. Got it friends? We have written like this. Now we have here sin square. Here we have tan cube. So sin square, I know that sin square x by x square is equal to what? Limit will be equal to 1. So but here we have 3x. Okay, here we have 3x by 2. So what I should do? I should divide by 3x by 2. Here we know that limit of tan x by x is equal to 1. But here we have tan cube and here we have 4x. Okay, so what I will do? Here I will write 3x by 2. Okay, here I will write 3x by 2 and I will multiply by 3x by 2. Okay, this should be square because it is square. So this is also square. Here I have 4x. So I should multiply by 4x whole cube because here it is cube. So I will multiply by 4x cube. I will divide and multiply. Okay, here I have 1 plus 2x. The property is what? Log of 1 plus x by x. But here we have 2x. So I should divide by 2x. So this I will divide by 2x. But not just 2x. Here we have 5. So I will write 5. Okay, so I will multiply by 2x to the power of 5. So what we divide, we have to multiply. So this value is equal to what friends now? This value will be equal to 1 and this value will be equal to 1. Okay, and this value will be equal to 1. Now what we are left with? We are left with 2 this one. So let us see what is left. So we are left with, here I will write 2 into, this is 3 square into x square by 2 square into 4 cube into x cube by, this is what? Here what we are left? We are left with 2 to the power of 5 into x to the power of 5. So this is x square, x cube, this will be x to the power of 5, this will also be x to the power of 5. This x cube and x square cancel, x to the power of 5 cancels. So we are left with what? 2 into 3 square into 4 cube. 2 into 3 square into 4 cube. What I can write this? I can write it as 2 into 3 square into 4 cube can be written as what? 2 square to the power of 3, that is 2 square to the power of 3, this will be 2 power 6. So divided by 2 power 5 into, what is this? 2 power 5 divided by 2 square is also there here, 2 square. Okay, 2 power 5 into 2 square. So this is what? And here one more 2 is there. Here one more 2 is there. So here 2 is there outside. So this will be 2 power 5, 2 power 7. So this will be 2 power 5 into 2 square. So 2 power 5 into, here we will be having 1 by 1 2 and 2 will be left. So next one more row is missing here. This is 4 cube, no? 2 into 3 square Okay, 2 into 3 square, 2 to the power of 5, 2 into 3 square into 4 cube. 4 cube is 4 is 2 square, 2 to the power of 6. So you will be having 2 to the power of 8, 2 to the power of 8 divided by 2 to the power of 8 divided by here, 2 to the power of 8 divided by 2 to the power of 7. Actually we will be having here, I can write here. So finally we will be having 3 square into 2 to the power of 8 by 2 to the power of 7. Okay, so if I cancel this, what I will be left with? 3 square into 2. So 3 square into 2 is what? 9 into 2, it is 18. Okay, so the answer is C. Okay, directly we can get it. It hardly take 1 or 2 minutes. But I have written this much for you to understand. Otherwise, directly I will see this one. It is 1, 1, 1. What I have to multiply? Only multiplication. What I am going to divide, I am not going to write. What I have to multiply, that I will write it and simplify it. Got it, friends? So you can do it very fast. Got it? Next question. I hope it is clear to you. Oh, important. Okay. If the question is of the form, if you are getting indeterminate form, that is indeterminate form means if you are getting infinity by infinity, where the question is involving when we put the value of what is the value of x, whatever it is given, if you are getting infinity by infinity, then how to solve the question? Okay, then how to solve the question? This is very, very, very important. This is very, very important property. Okay, suppose limit f of x by g of x as x tends to infinity is given. As x tends to infinity is given, this is a sequence in x or sequence in a. Okay, a naught, a1x, a2 x square up to a to the power of m into x to the power of m. This is the highest coefficient of x. Highest coefficient of x is this one. This is the highest power of x. This is b naught, b1, b2, b square. This is highest coefficient of x in the denominator and highest power of the denominator. So here what? The power of numerator. The highest power of numerator is what? M. The highest power of denominator is what? It is n. We have to check that. Now, if we check numerator and denominator, the powers of numerator and denominator, if we check, if it is coming equal, suppose numerator is 1 and denominator is 1, then what is the value of the limit? The limit value will be a to the power of m divided by b to the power of n. That is highest power of highest coefficient divided by power of highest coefficient of numerator and denominator respectively. That is the value. Suppose if m is less than n, m is less than m means that is n will be greater. That is n will be so much big that if you are dividing by that on the numerator, if numerator is divided by a large denominator, what you will get? You will get the value as 0. Okay, you will get the value as 0. That is what is written. When numerator is small or numerator, or you can say that denominator is so big. When the denominator is so big, what will happen? If you divide by such a large denominator, you will get the value as 0. Right. Now, in case the power of numerator is greater than the power of or degree of numerator or degree of denominator, sorry. So that is m is greater than n. The value, that is m is such a big number, that is the numerator is such a big number, the power is so high or such a big number, then what will happen? Then the value we will get will be equal to close to infinity, that is actually infinity itself. So it will be positive value of infinity if a to the power of m into the product of a to the power of m into b to the power of m is a positive value. It will be minus infinity if that same product, that is a to the power of m, that is power of highest coefficient of numerator, product of power of highest coefficient of numerator into highest coefficient of denominator, product of that is greater than 0, then it is positive infinity, is less than 0, then it is negative infinity. Got it, friends? So based on this, we will be solving the questions now. That is infinity by infinity form. So previously we learnt about logarithmic and exponential limits. Now we will solve questions based on indeterminate form, that is infinity by infinity. Okay, now have a look at this question, friends. We are just going to focus only on the powers of numerator and denominator. Okay, here there is 2. Here the power is what? N square. This will be n cube. The power is here n cube. This is 3. Okay, here what is the power? N square into n. This will be numerator will also be 3. Okay, the numerator and denominator, the power here it is 3. Here also it is 3. The power is 3. How we got it? How we understood it is 3? How we understood it is 3, n into 2 n cube. This is n into n square is n cube, n into n square is n cube. The powers are same. When the powers are same, I told a to the power of m divided by b to the power of m, the power of highest coefficient. So here the power of highest coefficient is what? 2n square, n 2 square will be equal to 4. This will be equal to 4. Numerator we will get 4. Numerator we will get it as 4 divided by what is this? N into n square. How many times you multiply also? Here the power of n cube. That is coefficient of n cube will be equal to 1. So the answer is 4. So that is option C. Got it, friends? Like this we have to solve. Here m is equal to n. I read it for your reference. Therefore, this implies limit will be equal to a to the power of m divided by b to the power of n. That is 4 by 1. That is equal to 4. So easily we solve. Now have a look at this question, friends. Now have a look at this question. So the denominator is same. Okay. What about the numerator? Numerator is nothing but what? Numerator is nothing but summation of k, where k is 1 to n. So that is nothing but equal to what? N up to 1 plus 2 plus n. Up to n it will be n into n plus 1 by 2. N into n plus 1 by 2 divided by 1 minus n square. This is 1 minus n square. Okay, 1 minus n square. So this is what? Here n into n is the power of numerator will be equal to, the power of numerator will be equal to 2. Here the power of denominator will also be equal to 2. So what we should do? Highest coefficient. Coefficient of highest power. Here the coefficient of highest power is what? Here the coefficient of highest power is what, friends? 1 minus n square. This will actually become n into n plus 1. This will become 2 into 1 minus n square. 2 into 1 minus n square. Here the power is 2. Here also the power is 2. So m is equal to n. So a power m divided by b power n. So this is coefficient of n square here is what? The coefficient of n square here is 1. N square is 1. Here the coefficient of n square is 2 into 1 into minus 2n square. Here the coefficient is minus 2. This will be minus 2. So the answer is minus 1 by 2. Okay. So the answer is minus 1 by 2. That's all. Got it, friends? The answer is minus 1 by 2. Next question. Have a look at this question, friends. This is of which form? Please think. This is of which form? First you have to think this is of which form. This is of which form? That is what? This is which form? This is tree monkey problem. I told no, tree monkey problem. That is tree monkey property. That is limit x tends to a f of x to the power of g of x is equal to e power limit x tends to a g of x will come down and f of x minus 1. That is the monkey will come down from tree. We will take out one leaf. That is minus 1. That's it. So this will become equal to what? 2n square minus 3 by 2n square minus plus 1. So let us bring it to here. So this is g of x. So if it comes down, this will be n square minus 1 by n. Okay, n square minus 1 by n. Limit x tends to, what is it? Or not x, here it is given as n. Limit n tends to infinity e power into 2n square minus 3. This will be 2n square minus 3. 2n square minus 3 divided by 2n square minus n plus 1. Okay, friends, this is what we have. Now, if you look at this, this is again coming to the form of infinity by infinity. Infinity by infinity, we can use our property, which I told you, that is whether it is m is equal to n, m is greater than n, m is less than n. That is a property we can use. So see here, n into n square, the power is what? N into n square, the power is what? N into n square, here the power of the numerator is, here the power of the numerator is 4. Here the power of the numerator is 4. What about this one? What about this one? 2 into n square. N square minus 1 by n, right? N square minus 1 by n. Suppose n square minus 1 by n. If I multiply this, n square minus 1 by n, n square into n, this power is 4. This will be 3. So I think m is greater than n. So e power 0, that won't happen. Let us see. there is some mistake in the question. Let us see. N square minus 1 by n. N square minus 1 by n. So this will be 4 and this will be 3. M is greater than n. M is greater than n means, let us see. Or here what we can do is, if we multiply what we get, this will be n cube, this will also be n cube. N square minus 1 by n. Some mistake in the question, let us see. N square minus 2n square minus n plus 1. I think this should be n, or this should be n cube. N square minus 1 by n. So if I multiply or divide by n, okay, let me do what I can do here is this one. For each of these, let me divide by n. If I divide by n, what I'll get? This will be only this one I am taking, e power this one. This will be n minus 1 by n. N minus 1 by n into 2n square minus 3 by 2n square minus n plus 1. Okay, so here also it is n cube, here also it is n cube, here also it is n cube, here also it is n cube. But here the coefficient is 2, here the coefficient is coming out to be, it should be, the question actually it should be not 2n square, it should be just n square. It is not 2n square, it should be just n square. Okay, just n square it should be. What is just n square? This will be n cube. So here also it is n, the power is 3, here also the power is 3. The powers are 3. Here the numerator, here also denominator, the power is 3. Okay friends, we got it. M is equal to n, we got. So highest coefficient of numerator divided by highest coefficient of denominator. Okay, so this will be equal to what? This will be equal to highest coefficient of numerator is what? 1. This will be 1. Highest coefficient of denominator, highest coefficient of highest power of denominator is 2. So e power 1 by 2, the value is root e. That is option B. Got it friends? This is how you solve the question. So first, we here in this question, what we did, we used both the properties. Okay, there is some mistake in the question, that's why we took some time. Otherwise, it's a fairly simple question only. First, we used tree monkey property, then we used that indeterminate, that is infinity by infinity property. Simple. Okay, so simple it is. See, this is the question. Now let us solve some questions that is asked in MSET and EAPCET, that, and also what is asked, that is in KCET, right? Now have a look at this question. They are telling if f of x is 1 plus 2x by a, where x is greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 1, and it is equal to ax if x is greater than 1 or less than or equal to 2, and they are telling if limit f of x as x tends to 1 exists, then the sum of the cubes of the possible values of a, they are telling. So this is the options. Okay, so have a look at the question. The question is so big, so solution will also be so big. That's what you will be thinking. Actually they are telling what? Let us solve this question now. So actually they are telling limit f of x exists, limit f of x as x tends to a or x tends to 1 exists. That means what? That means limit f of x as x tends to 1 minus will be equal to limit f of x as x tends to 1 plus. That is LHL will be RHL, because limit f of x as x tends to 1 exists. Therefore LHL will be equal to RHL. LHL will be equal to RHL. Okay. Here LHL is what? Here x is less than 1. Here x is greater than 1. So this is LHL. So wherever x is there, I have to put 1 because x tends to 1. So 1 plus 2 by a will be equal to what? 1 plus 2 by a will be equal to a. 1 plus 2 by a will be equal to a. Okay, 1 plus 2 by a will be equal to a. Now if we solve this, we will get a square, that is a plus 2 by a is equal to a. Okay, now on solving this we will get a square is equal to a plus 2, a square minus a minus 2 will be equal to 0. On solving this we'll get, that is solving this quadratic equation will get a is equal to what? Minus 2 plus 1. Minus 2 plus 1 is, the sum will be equal to minus 1 and product will be equal to minus 2. A is equal to minus 2 plus 1. They are asking not minus 2 plus 1, it will be equal to, the factors will be equal to a minus 2 and a plus 1, a minus 2 and a plus 1. So a will be equal to, so a will be equal to 2 comma minus 1. So the factors will be a minus 2 and a plus 1. A plus 1 will be equal to 0. So a will be equal to 2 and a will be equal to minus 1. They are asking sum of the cubes. So the sum of the cubes of the possible values of a. So sum of the cubes. So sum of the cubes what? Sum of cubes. I am writing steps so that you understand. Sum of the cubes will be minus 1 cube plus 2 cube. Okay, minus 1 cube will be equal to minus 1 itself. 2 cube is 8. 8 minus 1 7. So the correct answer to this question is 7, friends. Here the correct answer is 7. Got it, friends? I hope it is clear. Let us move to the next question. This is asked in AP 2024, that is recent exam last year. Look at this. There the limit 2x minus 3, this is the graded GIF, gradation integer function, divided by x, x extends to infinity is equal to what? We know that, suppose this is x, x is a gradation integer function, this is less than or equal to x, but will be equal to x minus 1. Okay, now I'll multiply x with 2 and I'll subtract minus 3 from each of these because it is minus 3. So this will become what? 2x minus 1 minus 3 will be equal to minus 4, less than, this is 2x minus 3, less than or equal to 2x minus 3. Okay, because multiplying by 2 and subtracting 3. Now here x is there, so I'll divide by x all overall, divide by x, here also divide by x, here also divide by x. What I'll get here? Here I'll get 2 minus 4 by x less than 2x minus 3 divided by x less than 2 minus 3 by x. Okay, 2 minus 3 by x. Now if I apply limits, if I apply limit as extending to infinity, okay, limit as extending to infinity, limit as extending to infinity here. So what will happen, friends? This value will become what? 4 by x, 4 by infinity will be 0. So this value will be equal to 2. So this will be limit 2x minus 3 divided by x as extending to infinity will be less than or equal to, see friends, 3 by x, x is infinity, so 3 by infinity will be 0, so will be equal to 2, less than or equal to 2. So this will be less than or equal to 2. So what will happen? This limit is lying between 2 greater than 2 less than or equal to, so 2. So this will be, actually this value will be equal to 2. So the correct answer to this question is D, 2. Alright friends, understood this one how to solve? Is it clear? Have a look at it once. So let us move to the next question. Look at this. This they were given limit x tends to 0 sin pi cos square x by x square. Okay, cos square x we can write it as what? We can write it as 1 minus sin square x. So let me take what is inside, sin pi cos square x by x square. So this can be written as what? Sin pi cos square x I can write it as, cos square x I can write it as 1 minus sin square x. So this 1 minus sin square x, if I multiply by pi, it will be pi minus pi sin square x, because I can write it as what? Cos square x is equal to 1 minus sin square x. Correct now? So by x square, by x square. We know that sin 180 minus theta is sin theta. So this will become what? Sin pi minus pi is nothing but 180. Sin 180 minus theta is sin theta. Sin pi sin square x by x square. Okay, by x square. But here I have inside pi sin square x. I want to make it what? I want to make it limit sin x by x. but inside I have pi sine square x. So I should write what? Divide and multiply by pi sine square x. So I'll write here, I'll divide by pi sine square x. Here I'll write pi sine square x. Pi sine square x. Divide and multiply by pi sine square x. Now this x square, let me write it here, sine square x. Okay. Now see here friends, sine of theta by theta or sine x by x. This is equal to what? Limit sine x by x extends to 0. This will be equal to 1. Here also limit sine square x by x square. This also will be equal to 1. So what I am left with? I am left with only pi. So the correct answer to this question is pi. Very simple friends. That's it. We are using first property of, that is what? Trigonometric limits. That's it. That's what we learn. Based on which we solved so many even more complex questions than this question. That's why solving JEE mains questions will be useful. Okay. So see here friends, they are given limit x plus x square x cube x to the power of n minus n by x minus 1 is equal to, what is the answer they are asking. For each of them, let us subtract by 1, because by denominator we are having x minus 1. So let us make it similar to that. So this will become what? This will become x minus 1 plus x square minus 1 x cube minus 1 up to what it will become? X to the power of n minus 1. Okay. So this will divide by, this will be divided by x minus 1. Now each of them separately, if you take it and divide, what you will get? X minus 1 by x minus 1, you will get it as 1. Okay. Similarly, x square minus 1 by x minus 1. X square minus 1 can be written as x minus 1 into x plus 1. So it will become, actually it will become 1 plus 2x 3x square plus 4x cube up to, you will get it as n times x to the power of n minus 1 divided by x minus 1. Okay, divided by x minus 1. No, you will not get x minus 1 because you are divided. You already divided it. That's why you got this. Now, what they are telling? Limit extending to 1. So wherever x is there, if I put 1, what I'll get? I'll get it as, what I'll get? I'll get it as 1 plus 2 plus 3, because x will become 1. Because limit extending to 1, x will become 1. 1 plus 2 plus 3, 4 up to n. So that is equal to what? Sum of n numbers can be written as n into n plus 1 by 2. So the answer to this question is A, option A, n into n plus 1 by 2. Next question. Very simple, right? If you want, you can have a look at it once. So first I have written it in the form of denominator x minus 1. Here everywhere I have subtracted minus 1. Then if you divide each of them, you will get it as 1 plus 2x, 3x square, 4x cube. This is just by observation you can write it. Then 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to n. Okay, sum of numbers up to n, you will get it as n into n plus 1 by 2, because x value is 1. Because x tends to 1 is what they have given in the question. This is asked in which year? AP 2024 itself. Have a look at this, friends. This is also a simple question. Okay, but if you know the concept of limits, you should have clarity in the concept. So here they have given limit, I think it is extending to infinity. This should be extending to infinity. Let me write it. Limit extending to infinity. See, these are the PYQs. You can note down the question, practice again, then it will be more clear to you. Limit extending to infinity, this something to the power of 8 and this something to the power of 8 into p x to the power of 4 plus 16 is equal to 1 divided by x plus something to the power of 8, x plus something to the power of 8. Then p is equal to what they are asking. So since everywhere they are giving x to the something to the power of 8, let us divide. So in this question, let us divide numerator and denominator by x to the power of 8. X to the power of 8. So for that, what we will do first? So this will become what, friends? If I take x outside, this will become, if I take x outside, this will become 2 root time 2 plus 1 by x. This is, I am talking about numerator. 2 times 1 by x, x will come outside. So x will come outside means this will become x power 8. Okay, plus this will also become this total value, this will also become x power 8. If I bring it this side, it will be 2 plus 1 by x minus root of 2 plus 2 minus 1 by x. Okay, this whole thing into p x to the power of 4 plus 16 is equal to 1 divided by, what is this? This limit x tends to infinity. Okay, either you can divide numerator and denominator by x power 8, or if you take it common directly you can get it. So if I take x outside here, so this will be x outside. If I take it, this will be x power 8. Okay, this will be 1 plus x square. X square, if I take it outside, this will be x will come here, but here it will be 1 minus 2 by x square, 1 minus 2 by x square plus this into x. If I take it outside, already I have taken outside, this will be x power 8. So this will be 1 minus 2 by x square, 1 minus 2 by x square. Okay, this is what we get. So x power 8 cancels. So wherever x is there, if I put infinity, 1 by x will be 1 by x infinity. So when we get x tends to infinity, we should bring it to a form where 1 by x, because 1 by x tends to 0. If x tends to infinity, then 1 by x tends to 0. So this will be what? This will be equal to root 2 plus 0 plus root 2 minus 0. I am talking about numerator. Root 2, this will be plus 0, root 2 minus 0 into p times x to the power of 4. P times x to the power of 4. Plus 16. P times x to the power of 4 plus 16. So this will be equal to 1 plus 2 by infinity is that will be 0 only. So this will be root 1 plus 1 minus, this is what, root of 1 minus 2 by infinity is 0. So this will be again root 1 minus root 1. So this whole thing, this will be whole thing to the power of 8. This whole thing to the power of 8. So what will this become, friends? 1 minus 1, this will become 0. This will be equal to 1. So I can write this as root 2 plus root 2 will be equal to 2 root 2 to the power of 8. This will be root 2 minus 0. This will be to the power of 8. Root 2 minus root 2 will be equal to 0. See here, root 2 plus 0, root 2 minus 0 is root 2. Root 2 minus root 2 is 0. This will get it as 0. So 2 root 2 to the power of 8 by 1 minus root 1. That is 1 minus root 1 is nothing but equal to 1. 1 minus 1 will be 0. So this will be equal to the power, okay, to the power of 8. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2 to the power of 8. Okay, 2 root 2 to the power of 8 into 2 to the power of 8. We will get it as, into p times x to the power of 4 plus 16 is equal to 1. Okay, p times x to the power of 4. Actually this will not be p times x to the power of 4. Once you divide this, you will get it as, here you will be having, if you multiply here, it will be 16. Here only you will get it. Here you will have 16 by x to the power of 4. So here it will be only, p, because 16 by x to the power of 4. 16 by x is what? 16 by infinity is 0. 16 by infinity is 0. So this will be only p. This will be only p. Here also it will be only p. Here also it will be only p. Here it will be only p, that is equal to 1. So here 2 to the power of 8. So this I can write it as, further I can simplify. I am writing steps so that you understand, otherwise we can solve it very fast. So this is what, friends? This is 2 root 2 by 2 to the power of 8. 2 and 2 cancels, into p is equal to 1. So p will be equal to what? 1 by root 2 to the power of 8. Root 2 can be written as what? Root 2 can be written as 2 to the power of 1 by 2 into 8. So this will be 2 1s are 2 4s are. So 1 by 2 power 4, that is equal to 16. So friends, the question, for this question, the answer is 1 by 16. Got it, friends? Simple. Okay. It took some time so that you understand. Got it, friends? I hope it is clear. So let's wind up now. Okay. So let's wind up now. We'll meet in the next session where we'll be solving some more questions we solved of AP. We'll be solving again of some of the questions of AP, then TS, that is Telangana, and then kcet. Questions based on what are the topics we have learned, that is methods of solving the limit, trigonometric limits, okay, exponential limits, and indeterminate form, infinity by infinity, 1 to the power of infinity, tree monkey property, all these things. Okay, next we'll be learning, after solving those questions in the next question, next session we'll be solving those questions, and after that we'll be learning LH rule and remaining concepts of limits, and then we'll go for derivatives. Got it, friends? Thank you so much for attending this session. Okay, let's meet in the next session. Thank you, friends. Take care.